Hey everybody, Fishman here. Welcome to another video. This is fishing blog number 104. And at this point, the bracket now has 2 coats of urethane on it, and at this point here, 4. I suspect I'm going to go up to about 6 or 8 before I'm satisfied. It's mostly the edges that are of concern. The flat parts like this, especially ones that are going to be covered by the actual filter itself, not a big deal. But at the edges, especially where it's going to bolt onto the frame, where there could be splashing, there could be issues with water seepage there, so I want to make sure it's good and sealed. So at this point, it seems to be neck and neck for the new sump to be either a high humidity / standard sump, or one that's going to be fairly dedicated to aquaponics. So we'll see how that goes. We'll keep that going for a little while longer, and we'll figure something out, probably a combo of the two. So this is the outdoor pond. We've had some cooler weather. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, at night it's gotten down into almost single digits a couple of times, and as you can see, because the hornwort is right up near the surface, it is just not doing well. And believe it or not, this is not either. This is Java fern, obviously, is not thriving. The big surprise here, I shall get to in a second, is the red Luigia, but you can see down here, this is doing fine, the valve's fine, and so is the Java moss. The red Luigia, I expected it to be the most sensitive of all the plants, but it's not. It's actually perfectly healthy. Go figure. Anyway, it's still way too cold for fish, so I'm going to wait and see. And there's the Java moss down there, and it's perfectly fine, as you would expect. So that's the problem with outdoor ponds in our kind of climate. It's such a short season. We're into June already now. By the time this gets warm enough, I suspect we're going to be in the second week of June, and then that only leaves us about 2 months of usable time. So indoor ponds are my favorite. I'll still get some use out of this. This is something I found that was really bizarre. This is red Luigi, of course, and it is out of the water, growing quite well atop the cross of this canopy, which is odd because usually what happens is this. It just sticks out a little bit and then withers out. So that sprig there, for some reason, seems to have developed the ability to live out of the water. So, well, we'll just see how it goes. This tank is a bit of a conundrum for me. I'm not sure how to proceed. The shrimp are very well. I mean, all the fish are fine. The plants, everything's doing really well. But I have yet to see any of the shrimplets, so that is a bit of a concern, which means I may have to dedicate this tank to just these shrimp. I don't like doing that, but I may have to. The other thing is I haven't seen any of the rice fish fry come out yet, but there's an awful lot of small fish in here that could easily predate on them. So again, I'm not sure what to do with them. I do want to grow a bunch of rice fish, so they may end up with their own little aquarium for at least a little while. We'll have to see. I mean, there's plenty of cover in here, but I keep looking, and I haven't seen any of them yet. And also the other thing is this ball of Java moss really, really needs to be divided. So what I might do is set up an aquarium, make sure I have got all these guys out of it, and divide up that moss ball into 2. Put one of that aquarium, nothing else in there for a little while, and see what comes out of it. That will probably be my easiest solution for that. So I keep showing you Crebensis, and ones that I think are breeding, but they aren't. But apparently this pair is. As you can see in the background, pardon all the fuzziness, but it's in the corner, it's in the back of the tank, and it is being guarded quite well, so it's kind of hard to give you a good picture of them, but those are definitely eggs, and hopefully we'll get something interesting out of that. So as you can see, my hardwood float here has decided to sink. But there's another thing that's come up recently. I was chatting back and forth with EJ, and he thought that the possibility of using a ball of Java moss and then taking that Java moss out and just cycling them would be a good way of doing that, and I agree with him. So that might be the next way of my doing this. There's nothing wrong with the spawning mops, except it's labor intensive. And I'm showing you this clip simply because there's another batch of fry there, and they are, of course, the other color form, which is nice. I'm glad to see that they're also breeding in there. Now this slowed down. Not a big surprise. I'm just using the intake screen that comes with the pump, and as you can see, it's got plugged up. So I'm going to just off camera, I pulled it out, cleaned it up, and there you go, back to full force. And I'm probably going to have to make an intake screen for it. Again, not a big surprise. It's just something I wanted to show you. I'm very happy with this. It's obviously not something that was going to be experimental. It is tried and true. Sumps are great, as you already know, and above tank ones are just as fine. So this is a good trickle filter, and there you go. I like this. This is how I like my fish room to look. Lots of plants growing above the tank. It's doing very well, and it's what I like to see. As you notice, that one tank is much lower water rate at the moment. That's because I finally got around to catching out the baby zebra danios, and I put them in one of the aquariums now. So here they are. There's quite a few of them, and they're going in here. I know I was going to put them into the one on the left, but I'm still holding hope that at some point I will see some rice fish fry. So I'm just leaving that alone for the moment, and I'm just going to reverse the roles. I'm going to put the platy fry into one on the left and keep these guys in here. So that tank now is going to get a huge water change. That's why the water was really, really low, and I'm going to fill it up, get it cleaned out, and I'm either going to put more zebras in their breed, or I'm going to switch it over to leopard danios, so one or the other. I want to show you this clip simply because it always surprises me when I see air-driven systems like this flowing at such a low water level. I mean, they do manage to get a little bit of height out of them, which is kind of nice. Haven't done anything with this yet, so I just keep watering it. I am going to take some clippings and get that all set up. Hopefully it'll do well immersed. I just like the smell of it. And this clip I actually meant to put right after the outdoor pond one, because this is an indoor pond, and it's just nice. It's just year-round. No issues, don't have to worry about temperature. Everybody thrives. I still plan on actually putting a little bit more light on top of this at some point, just as an experiment really more than anything else, because there's obviously plenty of light here. One thing I noticed while I was doing this is, again, another water pump issue, and that is this one here is a little bit plugged up. This one's different though. This is not the actual intake of the pump itself. This is something that happens when you have that much horizontal pipe and a bit of mold building up in it, especially with these low flow systems. What you need to do every now and then is just turn everything off, and then here I'm going to take the end cap off. And this is the reason why I designed these systems to be similar. I can just plug in, this is my usual hose for topping up tanks. I just connect it to where the pump was, give it a little bit of a pressure, not a lot, just a little bit, and you're going to see a bunch of gunk come out of this. There you go. All flushed out. So I'm going to turn that off now. I'm going to put the cap back on and give it a little bit more pressure just to make sure that the holes are all nice and clear, and then of course just hook it back up. So there you go. That's a very easy way of doing this, and that's again the reason why I like to make things universal like this, is it just makes it so much simpler to clean, and you don't have to worry about trying to fiddle around with things and hook something up that's not designed for it. So one last clip is going to be of the bypass I put for the top tank of the 7-foot rack, just showing you that the water system works. Its water change works just fine. Not like I was expecting it not to. I just wanted to show you guys because I'm doing a water change. I meant to show you the sponge setup I have for the overflow, but I have too many plants there and I didn't want to go fiddling with that. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video, and bye for now.